Guys, this video is brought to you by our partners at Geology. Geology's won all sorts of awards for their skin, hair, and body care products, and they've been featured in Men's Health, Esquire, and Ask Men. They make simple and effective skin and hair care routines customized for you. All of their products are built around a handful of powerful, proven ingredients that have been trusted by dermatologists for decades. I'm loving their morning cream with SPF 30 to make sure I'm protected from the sun, and their deodorant helps me stay fresh in the heat. My favorite scent is the deep jasmine and clove. Right now, for a limited time, Geology is hooking you up with an insane offer. Use my code Chael70 or scan the QR code on the screen to get an exclusive 70% off their award-winning skincare trial set. On top of that, you get to save 30% on add-on products of your choice when you add it to your trial. This is one of the best offers you will see, so get it before it's gone. All you got to do is click on the link below. Porn and MMA. Wow, where's Chael going to go with this? What kind of a comparison? Well, there's a lot of comparisons. Take a perfectly nice gal. No aspirations, never going to take her clothes off, but, somebody came at her the right way. They got a swimsuit, pretty revealing. It's not like anything you've ever seen on a beach, but it is, by definition, a swimsuit. For X amount of money, can you talk her into wearing it and giving you the rights to the photos? All right, well, once you get there, generally speaking, in a broad stroke, now it's a matter of time. It might take 5 years. But pretty soon that swimsuit that's been accepted is going to garner an attention that was a heck of a lot of fun. And it wasn't the money that it brought in, by the way. And it wasn't becoming calloused or having a moral decay. It's none of those things. That's what they'll tell you it is when they finally get to the casting couch. Brought in an attention. And when you put that same swimsuit on a month later, and a month later, and a month after that, it became normal and it quit getting attention. So you switch to something else. And then you start to make deals. I'll have a two-piece, and I'll take one of them off so it's a one-piece. You start to make deals with yourself, and that is going to garner attention, good and bad. Some people, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did it. But if you do that same thing, you put on the two-piece, you make the deal, and it's going to be a one. 5 and 6 and 7 months and 8 and 9 and 10 times after doing that same thing, the same thing that got you all that attention, that fed like a drug that part of your ego, all of a sudden it just becomes the norm. Now putting on the two-piece and making a deal and removing one, no, you're going to remove them both. This is the escalation. But moreover than me identifying a very obvious escalation, I'm identifying for you why. And it's about the attention that it brings in. And it's a very hard thing to replace. And MMA is unlike any other sport that I know of. I tell you guys all the time, in basketball, you can lose on Tuesday and on Friday be the world champion. It happens darn near every season. You can lose 2 games in 1 week and be the world champion. You can lose 3 games in the same month to the same guys. Don't you think they should be world champion? I mean, if you're world champion and they beat you 3 times in a month, shouldn't they be world champion? No, not in basketball. No, it's not how it's played. I only offer you that as one example. I could go through a number of other sports and just tell you where losing is more acceptable. In MMA, it's not even about the losing. You only get 3 matches a year. A fan will never know, because he will never see what it's like in the fighter's locker room after a loss. He'll never know what it's like in the fighter's hotel room when he's got to wake up the next morning beaten and battered, half the pay that he was potentially going to get, headed to the airport far earlier than he would like to sit and coach and travel back home. Like, they're just not going to know, and they're just not going to see that. And it's one of these very unique spots that the worst part about fighting is the fight. And you'll meet guys that tell you, I love to fight, I love it, I love it. They'll tell you those things, but they're encompassing everything. They don't actually mean I love to be punched or I love to punch somebody else. That's not actually what they mean. They're talking about the atmosphere. They're talking about that cage. They're talking about that roar, that crowd. They're talking about coming through the curtain. They're talking about the media leading up to it. That's what they're telling you that they love. They love the risk that they're taking going into a business proposition where you got 50% chance of failure. They love the rush that gives them. And that's what they're speaking to. And I give you this diatribe because I get asked the same question all the time, and it's to the point that I'm starting to ask it to other people. Do you believe Conor McGregor will fight again? And you'll always get the smart guy in the room, the smart guy that followed boxing. And he knows all about the sport, and a rich man can't fight. And Sugar Ray Leonard once said, you can't wake up in silk pajamas and want to go run 5 miles, right? You've met that guy? You met that guy? And just so you understand, it's Marvin Hagler's actually the one that said it. They now don't know that, and they say that Sugar Ray said it. I mean, I'm just sharing for you. Like, you can get a rinse and repeat all the time. But the guy that the networks hire to come out and tell you that, every network to a man, every network, every time, has never fought. He never actually did it. He was never actually in that locker room before or after. He never actually got half his pay for doing the same job. He never actually had to go to a hotel room, toot sore to sleep, to answer an alarm, to send him to an airport, to sit and coach. He doesn't actually know. And I don't berate them. They do a very good job. I'm just sharing with you some of the more fine intricacies they're going to have no way to know. And the question is, why could a man in silk pajamas get up and go run in the morning? To answer Marvin Hagler's question is for the attention. That's your answer. So if you had a way to get that attention without having to do the work, all of you would have gone and done what Rhonda did, just by example. All of you. If you could still get on camera and still get in headlines and still be asked questions as though your opinion somehow is greater than other people's, and you didn't have to get punched for real, and the paycheck had no threat of being cut in half, I'm just sharing for you, everybody would have done it, excuse me. And I really do look at that when I try to answer the question of, will Conor McGregor fight again? I had a very good friend, and he was wildly dishonest, and he would never try to harm you. He would never try to steal from you. It wasn't that kind of dishonesty, but he just couldn't tell the truth. It just couldn't be done. And over time, having pinned the Olympic champion in 3 seconds and having won the lottery in 9 different states, over time, when lying about positive things quit garnering attention, he went and lied about bad things. That he just got out of rehab, said he was hooked on crystal meth. He had never done drugs. He had never been to rehab. He had never touched in crystal meth. He started to lie about Nathan. It was just for the attention. I'm only bringing that to you. It appears that Conor, much like the girl who was once willing to wear a swimsuit, but over the years had to escalate. Right, it's always a fine line. It's always a fine line where something wears off. When you're the guy that talks trash and you push it and push it and push it, and then it becomes normal. So now you talking trash with profanity. And eventually the profanity starts to just blend in. So then you go somewhere that nobody else would, which is about the guy's family. And then pretty soon that becomes your stick, and that's perfectly normal. So now you got to bring his family, but you got to bring the ones that are minors and not over 18. Like, you'll just keep going as soon as that attention wears off. I don't think Conor McGregor's a criminal. I don't think he's a drug addict. I don't think he's a businessman that has any business owning a pub. I don't think he's any of those things. I think it brings him attention. And I'm just sharing for you, will Conor fight again? Well, they're a big mistake putting him on the Ultimate Fighter. Big mistake. And the belief of the psychology was not only we have a great package, if we don't have him fight again, we're going to have a really great package. But moreover, the belief, whether they'll admit it or not, was if he does this, it'll put him in a position. Of course he will go and do the fight, but should have had that about agreement signed. Should have had USADA under it. These are obvious. I'm stating the obvious. I didn't know this 5 months ago. I would have told you this 5 months ago. It's now obvious now. But moreover, you've given the Koi Dog the attention that he needs. Why does he need to fight if he's on ESPN every single week for other reasons? So will Conor McGregor fight again? Right? I got a group thread that goes with every voice in this industry. With 160 characters, I could push one button or have somebody push it to me and I'll adhere to it and we'll stop saying Conor's name. And all of a sudden his value go from red panty night to who the hell's Conor? We could do that. Do you want to know why nobody suggested on the group thread? Do you want to know why I haven't suggested it? Because you guys are still interested in it. Red panty night is still real. I'm making about 5 or 6 videos today. The one that will get the most views is this one because I'm going to have Conor McGregor's name in it. That's real. When that wears off, I'll quit talking about him. It's the truth. The relationship is transactional. Will he fight again? Not if he keeps getting attention. Could I, with the power and the respect I have of the people in the industry on a group thread on my phone that's sitting right here, stop everybody and take that attention away to force him to fight? Yeah, sure I could, but I don't really care about the lefts and the rights either. I could break down a fight for you guys, tell you about the guy that punched this way and he swung this way. I could do all of those things. You guys aren't going to click on it. It's not what you're interested in. You're interested in the drama. You're interested in the story. You're interested in the attention. It's not a bad thing. I'm just sharing with you where this goes. When you're attempting to make a prediction of will Conor fight again, nobody wants to fight, no matter how many times they tell you that they do. They need the money. Well, Conor doesn't. What he needs is attention. Good or bad doesn't make a difference. At some point, it's just the attention. So if he keeps getting it, no, I don't think he'll fight again.